I'll see your lips move.
Fuck, on my it's all.
Hey everybody, it's Aldo Gandhi, and I just want to let you know really quickly that our swag shop is reopened. DeepDishTees.com is where you go, and that's tees with T-E-E-S. Clever name, guys. They're the new home of our merchandise. You can get t-shirts, you can get caps, you can get coffee mugs, you can get hoodies, you can get all sorts of good stuff, and you'll help out the bar room with the purchase. So head over to DeepDishTees.com.
Some may find the following disturbing. Discretion is advised.
Already know it's live. It's done by Barflies, 4 Barflies, and all the other Bears fans out there. You know, there might be a little delay here. I don't know. But it's Packer week. It's Packer week. We're going against Green Bay today at home for our share of the top spot in the NFC North. We got the boys in the room today. Let's bring them in and get the thing. First, we got the bearded Bears fan, Aaron Current. What up, dude?
What's going on, fellas? I feel like you're having some technical issues over there today, but we'll try to fight through injury and keep you off the pup list there and keep the show on the road. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the Kentucky Wildcats going down to Athens and taking that L yesterday. Honestly, going into the week, a lot of Kentucky fans were trying to talk themselves into it. I did not let myself get caught up in the hype because that Georgia defense is elite. I mean, when I say elite, they are elite. Going into the game, Christopher Rodriguez was the leading rusher in the SEC, and they literally shut him completely down. I think he had 7 carries for 7 yards or something like that. It was real bad, but we kept ourselves in the game. We covered the spread, and I couldn't ask for much more than that as a Kentucky football fan because we've got our asses kicked a lot of times before that game. But the weather's beautiful here, and wife wants to go to the pumpkin patch today. Hoodie weather's out, so head over to Deep Dish Tees and grab your barroom hoodies because I grabbed mine, pulled mine out today, and it's a beautiful day.
Beautiful day. Look at and the little plug for the Deep Dish Tees right off the bat. Let's look some good work right there. I got my Barfly Tailgate Deep Dish T-shirt. But next we got Mr. Ryan Kirkland Billings, KB. What up, man?
What's going on, fellas? Your boy just got off work, man, like 2 hours ago. So I'm dead ass tired. Was up last night watching all these games. Unfortunately, had to watch Kentucky take that L, man. Oof. That Georgia defense is something serious, man. 88. Oof. They had a Madden moment, man, where him and whoever his homeboy was both beat the lineman to the same side at the same time. Yeah. I said, "Oh Lord, ooh."
I was just glad Levis held on to that one.
Yeah. Oh Lord, he got hit, huh? Okay. Anyway, but yeah, boy, it's Packers week, man. You know, we up trying to fly through the technical difficulties. You know what I'm saying? Be here for you fellas and your fans for the day. You know how it is, man. You know how it is. What's up, Bobby?
Oh, Bobby hopped out on us. I guess it's gonna be it'll be the AC show today. I don't really have a show lined up or anything, but I mean, I guess we could touch on last week's game first.
Yeah.
I wore my throwback last week. I didn't realize that they were wearing them this week, so I kind of jumped the gun on that one. But the Bears pulled off what was called an upset victory with the Las Vegas Raiders. And looking back now, I mean, there's no other way to put it. We beat the brakes off the Raiders, honestly, physically and mentally. But I'm wondering after the Gruden stuff came out, and I'd love to hear your input on it, KB, because myself as a white man, I cannot put myself in your shoes completely. But the Gruden emails came out, and I gotta wonder if that was partly a distraction for the Raiders last week. If you don't mind speaking on it a little bit, KB.
Oh yeah, of course. It's something to say when certain language is being thrown out and certain derogatory terms are used. You know, to look at somebody in a position of power that you have to be up underneath the person that you're supposed to call and say, hey, he's the captain of the ship. We have to go and live and die by his words. To know that certain things were said when you have a majority black locker room,
right,
is gonna ruffle feathers. There's no one or two ways to look at it. It's pretty clear cut and dry. You can't look at that person and then honestly trust 1,000% that he has your best interest. And when you know somebody doesn't have your best interest, it kind of kills the momentum to play for that person. Now, I'm not going to take away from what the Bears did to them because we went and bust their ass.
Yeah.
We were a more physical team, and it came out afterwards that they had more pop to play that game because they still remember what the Raiders did to them when we went over London. So I'm not going to take away what the Bears did because at the end of the day, they're still professionals. They have to show up and they have to play. But is it what I call it a major distraction? Yeah, it's huge. You playing for somebody where you have to question: is this man a racist?
Mm-hmm.
Do I want to give this man my all? I mean, they didn't have like the longest yard moment where everybody just kind of, you know, how they sidestep and let the quarterback get sacked. I mean, you couldn't do that for Drew because like I said, you got to show up and play. And a lot of those guys got a lot of pride, and they still come out and play. So I'm not going to take away what we did because, like I said, we still had to play the game and we wouldn't bust their ass. But it's something to say to sit there and believe that you will give somebody 110% when you don't totally trust that person. Mm-hmm. So that's my piece on it. And I seen there was a lot more things he said that were directed to other people too. Something came out about him saying something about the homosexual community, the LGBT, you know, Q. Plus, he said something about Colin Kaepernick. Yeah, I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot said in that email, man. So it's just wild.
Yeah, I'm surprised more hasn't come out, honestly, because those were emails with the Washington football team's original owner, and they're dealing with a can of worms themselves. Another storied franchise with a troubled past, it would seem. But we'll break down just a little bit of the game from last week because it's Packers week, so I want to try to put that game to bed. But at the same time, I don't want to just gloss over what the Bears were able to accomplish. I mean, KB, you were with me in Cleveland. The way that they looked that week was god awful, and to be playing the Packers this week for a share of the NFC North is, I mean, in itself is amazing. Now, obviously, some changes were made. Bill Lazor's calling plays. Sean Desai is starting to come into his own, it would seem, as a defensive coordinator, and we love to see it. Some of the issues that I noticed last week, though, is we still had guys running wide open. They just dropped the ball last week, honestly. I mean, and you saw Darren Waller drop a couple, and he just doesn't do that. And then what's his name? Edwards. I think he dropped 2 or 3.
He dropped one that hit him directly in the hand. Oh
man.
my God. You could just see the distress on his face. As soon as that ball hit the floor, he should have just told himself, I'm cut. I need to start looking for a new team because my hands are made of stone.
Yeah.
They were made for show and tell. His hands were not for use. They were for show and tell. They were just there or part of his body. That was it. You can't be that damn wide open and drop the pass, man.
Right. Well, I mean, but that's what worries me about this week because I mean, you give Devontae Adams and Bob Tunyon those same opportunities, it's going to be an issue. So hopefully they were able to clear up some of that in practice this week. But we continue to see it week after week, man, and it's starting to worry me. Aldo says he's hungover. I think Bobby's hungover too, or maybe just his computer. I don't know which one it is.
My boy Bobby's some everything.
Yeah, man. This damn thing, dude. I don't know. It works until we hit play, and then it's like this long delay, and I don't fucking know. I don't even know if it's working now, but on my screen when I move and when I talk, it's all lined up. But on yours, I don't think it is. So
I can hear your voice, and then I see your lips moving. It's like I'm watching Squid Games over here.
outside of hitting this thing with a right cross, man, I don't really know.
That's what I told you. Take your ass to Best Buy.
Yeah, well, I didn't. Like you guys were saying, man, the Raiders game was a big win. We held them to minimal points. The defense came out and did their thing, kept them from scoring really. And it was, that stepping stone, I think, that we needed going into this game for the defense to come out and prove against the top tier offense that they can shut them down, that they can do this. And I get with all the stuff that was going on. What's up, Taurus? I get with all the stuff that was going on and that, but I mean, they still came out and beat these guys down. That email stuff got released the middle of last week, I think, a couple days before the game. So I'm sure Gruden addressed it. But I don't know how you guys feel, man. Gruden got handed a Tampa Bay team that was about to win the Super Bowl anyway and walked in with them. Gruden's a scumbag in my eyes. Gruden's always been a scumbag. He just
honestly, when it came out, I was like, well, yeah, I could see it. He seems like that dude, I don't want to sound like but
whatever, I'll profile him, man. He looks like a fucking scumbag.
but I just wanted to give KB the time to speak on it because he was affected by it more than any of us here. But there was some highlights there Aldo put up of the Bears offense. Damian Williams looked really good. Now he's on the COVID list this week, so is next man up again. You got Herbert is going to get his shot, a rookie. And then I think they called up Artavius Pierce from the practice squad to back him up. And did they call up Ryan Nall as well?
Well, Nall,
they had to call somebody. We found one back.
So we got we got Herbert, Nall, and Pierce is the depth right now. Herbert should have a great game. I mean, that dude, he's impressive. Honestly, like even the way he came out and played. He had a good game last week. I thought he's a brutal, runner. We were texting, and then I heard it on Bare Truth with Aldo, and we kind of said the same thing, that like when he first started, he looked like a year one Jordan Howard. We're like, let's not put him at a 2 or a 3 because he just kind of fell off. But he looked like a year one Jordan Howard, and he's not afraid to make the impact, to make the hit, and over his shoulder and go, man. And I think the kid looked really impressive. His vision, his cuts. You didn't see him cutting back out of like panic or anything. You seen him cutting back because that's where the lane was.
Right.
There's a difference in cuts with running back. Some of them cut because it's straight panic, but some of them actually have that vision. I think Herbert's vision is great, man.
Yeah.
He's
I think some of that
definitely
has to do with I think some of that has to do with his special teams play from college, because you have to be able to realize where your blocks are setting up, and I think that helps him a lot with his cuts. I remember I was watching it with my wife, and I just was blown away. I just kept telling her, I was like, this dude's a rookie, like like this is his first year, and he didn't go to a big college or anything like that. I mean, he went to Virginia Tech, right? So, I mean, I guess that's a decent size. I mean, that's a good sized college, I guess. But it's not like he went to where Cohen went. But I was just blown away by his ability as a rookie. I mean, he's only going to get better, and when he hits the weight room this offseason, maybe we can see another Jordan Howard that can catch better, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I seen some dumb stuff yesterday, which I don't agree with. We'll talk about here in a minute. Robert Jones asked, what's up with Montgomery? Monty's on the IR right now. He's another 3 weeks. So these are in 3-week increments now. He was able to avoid any major damage, but he does have, he's injured. So he's down for at least 3 weeks. I think week 9 is the earliest we can get him back. But luckily it's not anything surgery season ending. So he could come back around, and you add Monty and Herbert together, man, depending on what's up with Williams, right? And if this kid comes and shows out, we only got Williams on a 1-year contract. So you add Monty together, man, and that's a sick little setup you got. And talk about guys that can make an offense, that can make this offensive line look a lot better than we even give them credit for. Because let's face it, this was a huge worry for all Bears fans going into the season, was his offensive line. They've done pretty well, man. They've done, besides outside of Cleveland, right? Let's take the outlier off of there and throw it away.
Oh, yeah.
But you're seeing a lot of videos pop up of the pancakes, of the the fucking suplex, and a lot of this offensive line just getting to that second level and doing what they need to do, man. So I mean, I can't wait till they're both back together. But for now, I mean, let's let Null carry us through a game. Let him spell Herbert here and there and get those tough yards, and hopefully Herbert comes out and gets after it today, man.
Yeah, and I mean, the Packers are hurt today too. I mean, they got Jair Alexander, who's arguably a top 3 corner in the league. He's sitting on IR, and then they just lost Kevin King this week, so they're down to a rookie and Eric Stokes, and then some other dude, on the other side.
Is it Josh Jackson?
Man, I couldn't tell you. I have not looked at the depth chart or anything. I was just like, damn, they down 2 corners. I only knew Eric Stokes because I knew they drafted him the first round last year. But Zadarius Smith's been out for most of the season. I think they still got Preston Smith out there, and Rashawn Gary starting to come into his own. But I mean,
and this will be the first week that Jalen can actually play for him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is Jalen gonna play at all, or are they gonna wait? Because I haven't seen anything about him.
I don't know. I mean, he should. He's rostered now.
Yeah.
Well, it may come down to how well he picks up the.
Yeah, I was gonna say, things come down to how well he plays defense. Huh? You see how it worked with us and Brashard Perriman.
Yeah. I wonder if Aldo's got that clip, man, when James Daniels came up and just kind of. I mean, you talk about offensive linemen just coming out and blasting dudes. James Daniels was on a tear last week. We talked about for just a second there how Peters is kind of coming to his own and started hitting some pancakes. I think Jonathan Abrams still trying to get up off the turf after Peters smashed him. It's kind of become an identity of this offense, man. The smash mouth. Hits you in your mouth, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, like Mike Tyson said, everybody's got a plan until they get hit in the mouth. So maybe we can go out here. Hey, here we go. This is James Daniels play. Blown him up. Man, God.
Right at the top.
Yeah.
My man had a horrible day. He didn't know what was going on. Lord have mercy. It's
Yeah.
like he caught my man in the middle of a choke slam.
Man, I really
Yeah.
I'm surprised ain't nobody edited that into it yet. With James Daniels becomes John Cena, or John Cena pops up right in front of him. Oh Lord.
Yeah, I know.
It's just poetry and art for big guys, man. I love seeing it.
Yes. Say, man, just think about the idea
Yeah,
of what
definitely,
this
man. I
offensive
mean,
line could be in by next year with Tevin Jenkins on whatever side you want to put him on.
Larry
Larry
Borum should
Marble,
be
whatever
coming back
side.
soon, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm saying they'll probably throw him in at what right tackle. I don't know, man. See,
Well,
that's the
I mean,
interesting part because
I'd love
Elijah
to see
Wood.
him at left tackle, but speaking on offensive line, I think Ifedi just got moved to the IR, so they had to call up Elijah Wilkinson and see how he's able to fit in with this offensive line. He kind of held his own last week. I am kind of worried about consistency with him. I mean, there's a reason why they let him go in Denver, and they don't have really the greatest offensive line. So that kind of worries me. But I'd like to see when Borum comes back where they stick him at, because he seems to fit at left tackle better, in my opinion.
Yeah, I
But
was gonna say if you could have this, if the old line can become this, Bourne at left tackle, you got Whitehair at left guard, move James Daniels over to center, then you find the right guard, and then you
I
have
mean, you got
Jenkins at right
bars.
guard. Yeah, I'm gonna say if we can have Barr slide in the right guard, and you got Tevin Jenkins, man, you have the makings of a very young and powerful old line, and especially with your two anchors being your two rookies.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, but it's just all about everybody getting healthy and then seeing where we at.
But I think as far as moving James Daniels back to center, I believe it was Kyle Long who said that he was able to do everything assignment wise. He just wasn't loud enough to be able to make the calls, especially on the road. And you know, a center makes all those calls, especially with a rookie quarterback, or
Oh yeah,
next year would be a second year quarterback if they wait till next year to move him back. So
right.
he'd still need that help with shoring up the protection. And if he's just not loud enough to do it, I don't know if that's the best move. And then Whitehair's had issues with snaps.
Whitehair don't need to be nowhere near being center.
That might
Nowhere
be
near.
right. That might be a draft position that we're looking at, maybe a later round pick. I know Iowa's center is one of the highest rated ones, and Notre Dame's got a pretty good one out there too. I think his last name's Patterson or something like that. But and somebody put in the chat here, does Dieter Iceland hit the active roster today? I thought he got called up. But as far as him being active or inactive, we'll have to wait and see how the Bears are going to work that today. I mean, it probably won't come out until probably noon our time to tell us who's active and who's not.
Probably.
But I mean, if you want to move on to the defense, I mean, Khalil Mack had his
there we go. Oh.
Elton Jenkins, that's a big
Right. So let me tell you something else I found that was pretty fucking funny. All right, everybody knows my cousin plays for the Bengals. And plays for the Browns. All right, yeah, that's open knowledge now. So a while back, I'm on Facebook just scrolling through. It's early morning, you know how it is. Come across our family portal, and I see a happy birthday. And I see a football picture next to the happy birthday, and they're like, "Yeah, congratulations, you've been through so much, blah blah." I'm like, who the hell is this? Looking closer, it's Elgin Jenkins. Jenkins. Apparently, I'm related to him too. It's just on my Mississippi side of the family. So I was like, oh, and then I looked because I saw the Packers jersey. I'm like, who
Trader in the house, folks.
Packers? man. So,
KB got those good genetics, man. What?
Apparently it's only big dudes, man, because I didn't get none of that talent, goddammit. I was gonna say I'm just a 5'10", 200 pound. I mean I could have been a good running back had I had the support system.
I bet I could throw a football over in mountains.
Hey man, you gotta drop back.
I see some people were asking in the chat, and what I have here for the starter or for the linemen that are active today is Peters, Whitehair, Mustipher, Daniels, Wilkinson, Bars, Simmons, Iceland. So that's what I have as the depth for the offensive line today. I know like injury updates and reports will come out about an hour before the game, but as of right now, going into it, that's what we're currently sitting at. So yeah, whoever asked it, does Iceland hit the active roster? Jeremy did. He's on the active roster for today right now, so we'll see how that goes. But that's what we got going into this one so far.
Okay. Does Iceland have a history at center and guard, and then Simmons is your backup tackle? I'm assuming.
I think Iceland's gonna actually be the backup. But either way, he does have. I think it's guard. Because remember those beast videos of him just coming out and like basically throwing people? We haven't really seen that translate into the NFL. But some of his college tape was him just tossing people around, man, and getting after it. He's supposedly, just an attacker who likes to push, and get after it. Better at run blocking than pass blocking. But, as of right now, the Bears are sitting at 6th in rushing in the NFL. So maybe that is the move to get after it, even though I'd like to see Fields get unleashed a little more, like I think everybody does. But, as of right now, that's sitting.
Well, I mean, we've talked about for years as far as taking advantage of the players that you have on the field. And also, I mean, you got to take advantage of the defense's weakness. Now, the Raiders, obviously, they saw the ability to run against them, and that's what they did. I mean, they still hit some good passes, and Justin Fields has been accurate, and he's been able to move out of the pocket when he had to, and I love seeing that. But when it comes down to it, you got to take what the defense gives you. Now, I do think that this Packers defense is susceptible. I was watching, as a lot of us were, I'm sure last week, we were watching the Bengals try everything they could to give the Packers that game last week, and the Packers finally took advantage of it in overtime.
Yeah.
But Joe Burrow was able to sit back there and kind of wait for Jamar Chase to get open, and Jamar Chase, to his credit, he's putting up rookie offensive player of the year numbers to me. The way he's able to get open and catch the football. KB's got a dog going crazy.
she literally waited till I unmuted the mic to bark. Ain't that about a bitch? That's good to see my boy. Okay.
But hopefully we can do some of that with Mooney today, and he can break out and we can hit some deep passes. But I'm okay with running the ball too. I mean, I want to see what Herbert can do as the lead guy. And I think we spoke on it last week. Tariq Cohen, when he comes back, man, Herbert does everything Cohen can do, it seems. So he might be on the chopping block or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think he could definitely be expendable, man. I mean, unless you're going to use him in specific special teams and gadget, kind of those type of plays. But I think depending on Hurt showing out, right, he could definitely be expendable, man. And what I was saying earlier, the thing I don't agree with was just on this line too. Somebody had put it was up on Twitter yesterday that if Herbert balls out, that Montgomery's expendable. And I was like, there's no fucking way.
Yeah.
Man. I like,
No.
Bro,
you're crazy. You're crazy to try to move on like that. Good.
Something from the Bears report, because I frequent other pages too, just to listen to information. Somebody, and that was one of the questions I was legit asked. One of the questions was who sticks longer on the roster, Allen Robinson or David Montgomery? And the guy's name's Harrison Graham. Shout out to Harrison Graham in the Chicago Bears now. He was like, yeah, right now, the one that sticks the longest right now is going to be Montgomery because he's under contract for another year. But after that year, if Khalil Herbert's playing the way he's playing, he's like, maybe the Bears don't pay David Montgomery. And the thought of that, just in general, that, I mean, as a fan, it kind of pisses you off.
Right.
Because you can see, it's honest, and it's just us being real. You can honestly see the Bears do some shit like that.
I mean, we saw it with Jordan Howard. Not to keep going back into the past, but they didn't want to pay that guy. They ended up trading him before his contract was up, before his rookie contract was up, because they knew they weren't going to re-sign him. It sucks because David Montgomery's playing really well.
He's everything that you want in a running back. And then the fact that he finally got that speed coach, and it translates. You can see him being faster. It's not just like it was, I'm Jameis Winston and I went and got LASIK surgery, so now my vision's 20/20. And I'm not gonna throw 30 interceptions and 30 touchdowns. Like that's not what it is. It's this man legit was like, I was running wrong my entire life.
Yeah.
And he knocked whatever few more seconds off of what my 40 time was. And you can see my foot speed has become faster. My long speed is faster.
Well, I mean, it might just come down to a cap space issue, to be honest. I'd love to keep Montgomery, but we don't know what he's going to ask for. I mean, that's the issue we're running in with Allen Robinson. He wants $20 million. I mean, let's be honest. He's not making $20 million a year type plays this season.
The blocking efforts right now are trash. That I still stew over that damn touchdown pass he dropped. Brother, you should have had that shit. And it's just, man, you have to be a D hop. You have to be, enter another top wide receiver right now, because I can't think of anybody else. I just think of DeAndre Hopkins. I think of just.
We're going to see one today, Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams.
I mean, he's possibly the best wide receiver in the league right now. It's hard to argue against it.
It is.
I'm
sorry. I'm a big fan of Devontae Adams. I don't care if he played for the Packers. I'm sorry, fans. I've been saying that since they got the dude. He was going to be a baller.
You just got to be honest with yourself. You can't look at the whole league with bears-colored glasses on. I mean, sometimes I do that with UK-colored glasses when I try to deny that Lamar Jackson is just a fucking baller and J.R. Alexander came. I mean, like I said earlier, he's a top 3 corner in the league. Yeah. But I mean, the salary cap is going to come into play, whether it's Ryan Pace here or somebody else. I mean, there's going to have to be dudes, and a lot of it's going to be on defense. Guys that we love, Akeem Hicks. I mean, Max probably coming up. Quinn's taking up a lot of space.
I mean, they did just restructure his deal.
I mean,
they did clear up 3.5.
I'm going to drop that on the bottom line. So, and just like you guys were talking about, threw this in here earlier, Bears restructured Quinn's contract, freeing up $3.5 million in cap space. Basically what they did was turn some of his owed money, his yearly contract, into signing bonus. There's no restructure basic money coming, but they free up $3.5 million, but honestly, they only had $800K before that. I mean, you didn't even get a full tank of gas, man. What you did was take your fucking $20 and you went and got that bitch a couple lines above E just to make it a few more miles down the road.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what they did with that. I mean, there's still a couple other moves that they can make, right? But they've taken, what is it, $30.9 million now and pushed it to future contracts.
I mean, they keep doing it with Khalil. They keep kicking his contract down the road and down the road and down the road, and eventually you got to pay these dudes.
Yeah, the only thing that worries me about all that, right, is how we ended up with like Leno and how we ended up with Long and how we ended up with even John Fox. All these dudes that have been gone for years and we're still paying their contract. Granted, I mean, it could still work in the grand scheme of things. It just can't work for everybody. Like we're paying Leno this year and next year still off of a restructure that we did. Now I need to read up on it or look into it, but there's some stuff on that also that like if they get signed by somebody else, a percentage of the contract goes away or whatever.
hey, hold on. I need a sign. So
yeah, you do.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
But there's that. No, that was good. See, there is some stuff that can happen, but I mean, people say don't worry about money, don't worry about this, don't worry about that. In a sense, you can't, right? But down the road, it's going to come through. And what really hurt every team in the league was this COVID shit. Yeah. This COVID shit crippled a lot of teams, man. And you know, it starts to show in some places. But honestly, right now, I get it. I think some of the injuries, unexpected as they were, right, are the reason that a lot of this shit is happening. But we're still solid right now. We're still okay in the sense of it. And you know, we'll see where we go from here.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like we're bouncing around, but I just felt like it was something that had to be talked about. As far as and running backs, a lot of GMs see them as expendable. They feel like they can replace them in the draft, but I don't see how Montgomery is expendable, to be honest. The guy he just does everything. The way he runs hard, he's a team guy. I mean, he catches the ball. That was the biggest issue with Jordan Howard, was everyone said, well, the guy can't catch the ball. And like KB said, he's increased his speed. I mean, the guy was 5th in the league in rushing before he got injured. And last year, I think he was top 5 or something around there with his statistics, and numbers don't lie. The guy's going to ask for money, and he deserves every penny. I thought A-Rob deserved it until he started playing the way he's playing this season, and it kind of sucks for him that he's on the franchise tag.
Only 10,000? Only fuck the image. Only 10,000? Oh no, bro! I'm at least a meal, baby. You catch me, you. Oh shit!
Oh, Aldo coming in clutch.
You know,
Aldo has to look for that one for a minute. Yeah, I'm sitting there like, why am I on full screen? Oh. Oh man, that was good. That was good.
Yeah, I'm loving the I'm just trying to look through the comments right now. I'm loving what everybody's saying. Yeah. Everybody loves Montgomery. And I feel like they all agree with us. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, I think that we being Chicago Bears fans, we fall in love with backs quick. It happened, it happened with Howard. It happens in this organization with the fan base. We fall in love with running backs quick, but Montgomery's on another level, man. And I have the same fears that you do, that GMs feel that running backs are expendable. I think that I honestly will say that I think running backs are probably looked at as the most expendable position on the field. They can move and put somebody else in there. And still looking to go forward. You see it every year, right?
I mean, statistically, they kind of are. I mean, we grabbed Jordan Howard in the 5th round. Tariq Cohen, we got him in the 4th round. What was Herbert this year? 4th or 5th round. So GMs that are trying to make these tough decisions to make people fit in their salary cap are like, I mean, they feel like they can pick someone up in the draft to pay them a lot less money and make up the difference. But I I don't know if there's anybody coming out of the draft that can replace what Montgomery does for this team. As far as and like a lot of people were saying, the way he's a leader. I mean, people look up to this guy, and he's just a baller. But I feel like we need to move into this.
I mean, this is another. I think this Montgomery thing is another Nagy miss, man. Nagy even said his first year they didn't see eye to eye, or they didn't gel as much as they have the last two. Like, that's your fucking fault, coach.
Right.
What do you mean you didn't gel? You didn't gel with your rookie running back? That should be one of the guys you take under your wing from the get, and set him up for success. Yeah, and that's his fucking fault, man. And I mean, I 100% agree wholeheartedly. Montgomery's a beast, man. I think, especially behind the line that he's been behind, the dude comes. I think it was top 3 in rushing last year. He was definitely top 5, but putting him by the line that you have and he's still producing like that, you'd be a fool to fucking let him walk. But it comes down to, like we said, it comes down to money, man. And how much do you have and where can you put those? And honestly, it might be tough to keep him, but I think, we should make it for sure. What do we got here?
These are just some Montgomery highlights. And I mean, you hit the nail right on the head there, Bobby, as far as how they're going to work this salary cap. I mean, Montgomery's not the only one that's going to be coming up. I mean, we got Roquan Smith playing really well this season. We're going to have to pay him. I mean, and that's the way he's a leader on the defense, you can't not pay the guy.
He can get paid.
Right. I mean, if we don't pay him, somebody else is going to. I'd much rather see him be in navy blue and orange than anywhere else in the league, to be completely honest.
No, look, he'll go play for fucking Green Bay.
Hey, you shut your mouth.
It seems like it always happens, man. All our good players always go to Green Bay.
Everyone wants to kick Trevathan out the door, but when he signed his contract with the Bears, it came down to between the Bears and the Packers, and he came here because John Fox was here, and he won a Super Bowl with John Fox.
Right.
Now that was years ago, and he's lost a step or two since then, but I wouldn't want to see him wearing that green and yellow either. But we need to move on since we're kind of speaking Packers now. We need to move into this game, I believe.
Wait, let's do something real quick before we hop into this. I want to know your guys' thoughts in the chat. Let us know, what you think. But is Allen Robinson on the trade block? And do you think? I mean, trade deadline is November 2nd. If you're in the chat, let us know. And what would you trade him for, or what's your going in bids, or who you trying to get, I guess. But A-Rob's potentially on the trade block, man. The deadline's the 2nd. He's on the franchise tag, right? So get out from under it now or not. Unfortunately, he's A-Rob's Within Reach Foundation and them is a sponsor of this show. A-Rob comes on once or twice a year and joins us on the show. So we definitely don't want to see him walk.
Right.
I just want to see him get back to, remember the whole talk of like, he's never had a quarterback. Now he's got one who can kind of put in a bucket. And I want to see him get back to that playing style and them to open up and allow him to produce if possible. But we'll come over to you, KB. What's your thoughts? Is he trade bait? Do you do it now? Do you just hold him and let him walk at the end of the season? Or are you trying to establish some long year tenure?
So that comes back to kind of what we were talking about with the David Montgomery situation and the money. Do you have the money to keep A-Rob? We don't know, because right now, what is his stock? What do you pay him? Do I possibly see them doing it? Yes, the Bears. I could see them putting him on a trade block, and then we end up getting something like a 2nd or a 3rd back. But that, to me, that's you trading him to a team that's a contender who needs somebody now. Like I said, it might almost be better to wait till the end of the season if you were going to let him walk, and depending on whether or not you were going to try to load up. If you don't have the money to spend, then like I said in our text thread, like possibly trying to go out there Michael Gallup and a Christian Kirk, because for what A-Rob was asking, you could probably pay both of them and get for what you gonna pay A-Rod. But
Yeah.
I
And I
mean,
mean,
it just all depends, man, because you're gonna get a compensatory pick for him.
right.
That's just the truth. But if you can get a second now, that might be something that's interesting in them because we don't have that person.
Well, I don't know if his value is that high. I mean, other teams around the league have got to see what we're seeing as well, what his asking price is, and it could be a half a year rental for somebody. So it'll just depend on what the Bears are offered and from whom. And if they feel like he's worth that, maybe they'll move on with him. I wish they would have worked out a long-term deal and dropped his cap hit for this season, and you talk about carrying stuff on further into the future. That was your shot right there if you could have worked something out. But again, I don't know what his asking price was, and he's on the trade block because he's on the franchise tag. But
I'll tell you one thing that doesn't help A-Rob right now, right, and is Mooney's production. Mooney's production doesn't make the organization, doesn't make this brass here think that they have to pay A-Rob any more what they originally went in with. Now, if he would have, obviously they didn't meet to wherever it was, right? There wasn't an agreement there. I think if Mooney would have underproduced or continues to overproduce, right, then there's the money changes. The decision changes. If Mooney wasn't producing and A-Rob was, they would turn around and be like, see, you should have hit him with a long term, but you didn't. Now we're going to make you pay this or that, right? And I think it definitely, the layout of the field definitely changes how much is in the bank. And I honestly don't think that they're going to pay him. I think they're going to try to move him before next week. And unfortunately, let me do this real quick. Let me show you guys some stuff we got here. So, as you guys know, I think that's that's KB. K-Bizzle. Let's do.
I was like, yeah, it's coming. It's another image.
I thought it was.
No. I got some things. I got some things here to show you. So I was trying to get on this, but I got to move myself over here if that even works, or just, although help me out here. Will you just throw me full screen because I'm on delay anyway.
You're already off the screen, Bobby.
See, now I am. So we got this one. We got 5 jerseys in, 5 A-Rob jerseys that, this is a salute to service one that next week when for the Halloween game, me and Carrie will be in town. We'll be attending the game. We've already talked to A-Rob's, was she a publicist? I don't know what she is, but to Madeline, she runs the Within Reach Foundation, but talk to them. So we're looking at A-Rob signing all 5 of these for us to raffle off on the show. So there's the blue with the orange. There's the traditional blue with the white, right? You had the salute to service. You got the white one, and then we got the burnt orange. So we got some jerseys here to raffle off for all you people in the chat. Hoping to get them signed next week. Possibly meet up with A-Rob before the game or on the 30th and have him sign them up for us. And then whatever. I mean, if we're meeting up with him and he's going to sign them, I'm going to throw some questions out there and record it. And, maybe put some of those tough questions out there, man. I mean, who knows? It'd be 3 days away from a potential move for him anyway. Could possibly be his last game in Chicago. And I'm going to ask him, like, do you feel that this could have been your last game in Chicago? We're 2 days away from the trade deadline. What do you feel? Now, it all depends. If it goes before the game, I probably won't ask. If it goes on the 1st, then I might ask. But we'll see. And I'm not sure how it's going to work. But we got 5 jerseys. purchased by the boys right here on the Barfly Tailgate Show for A-Rob to sign. Last year we did 12 footballs. A-Rob signed them all. We went ahead and raffled them off and gave them away to you guys in the chat. This year we're looking at doing the 5 jerseys, and we'll go from there. Get them signed, hopefully, and get them sent out to you guys. So we'll see if that works. All right, let's get in this Bears Packer deal.
Before we move on, someone on here in the chat said, I don't think the cap will go up. I can't pronounce his name. Zaos Gorilla. So I don't think the cap will go up as much as some think. I disagree with that because, as we've spoke on the last couple of weeks, the TV deals that are going to come in, the NFL ticket moving away from direct TV, somebody's going to pay a premium price. I mean, we're talking billions of dollars for this Sunday ticket package. That will increase your salary cap by the amount of money that the NFL is making. It went down this year because they didn't make a ton of money last year because COVID. You didn't have people in the stands. You didn't have concession sales and stuff like that. I believe that works into it. I hope I don't look like a retard. But the cap is going to go up, which is part of the reason why they're pushing forward, the Jimmy Graham value and the Robert Quinn money. They move forward. I think it's really because the cap space is going to increase substantially. It's not just going to be like a $5 million increase. I'm thinking it's going to be a lot.
It will, man. And you're right. Like, those things all do come into play, and I think it's going to shoot up. I mean, you got fans in the stands, you got like asses in seats. You got all this other revenue coming in again that you weren't getting last year, which was a big reason for the cap hit. So I don't know if it'll shoot up like dramatically, right? Like, they're going to get this year's and next year's combined into one and start passing out stimulus checks to every fucking NFL team. But I do think that it's going to go up for sure, right? There's going to be some money to play with and additional things to pay off. Maybe some of our future credit cards that we kind of ran up at this point to try to make them work out. But I mean, I think everybody's going to benefit from that. So being where we're at right now with, 4.6 mil in cap space right now, it's not that bad. And especially with some of these guys they're not on season ending injuries. You kind of just need to plug and play guys for a little while and make it work out. I mean, that leads us to today's game, man. We got the 3-2 Bears going against the 4-1 Packers for the share of first place in the NFC North. They're coming to Soldier Field. They're a team they're not that impressive in my eyes. Rodgers is Rodgers, and he's always been impressive no matter what. Do I like him? No. Like, fuck that. But Rodgers has always been impressive. But coming in here, this is a team that, and I threw this up here earlier too. This is a team that's been struggling. They've been struggling as an offense in the red zone. They've been struggling as a defense in the red zone. And coming in against a defense that just proved last week what they, that they're not just all talk. I mean, this one right here, 27th in red zone offense this year with a 55% touchdown rate in the red zone. Last year, they led the league in that. Now, don't get it twisted because this is just red zone offense, right? I think overall they're 11th in offense, but playing in the red zone, they're ranked 27th from starting in the red zone. This is something that could definitely, be exploited. I think Fields rushes a lot today. I think we see Fields moving his legs and moving the ball. And I see some of these openings, man. And I know I've complained about it in the past. I think we all have about the tight ends not getting involved in this game, or in these games. But the tight ends got involved. They were just involved in the blocking scheme last week. There were some big fucking blocks thrown out by tight ends last week, man. And using those guys as an extra lineman has definitely paid off. AC, what do you think about this damn Packers defense? You know, I know we talked about people missing, but what do you think about this Packers defense and the Bears getting after them today?
I think, like you said, I expected the Raiders to take advantage of the Raiders defense with the tight ends last week, and we weren't able to as far as the passing game. I really think that the Packers defense struggles, and what I saw from last week watching them play the Bengals is they struggle in coverage. They were already struggling in coverage, and now they're down another corner. They're probably their best person in coverage is Darnell Savage, who they have at safety, but you can scheme away from that guy. I know we're going to run the ball. That's kind of become our identity. I mean, it's taken us 3 years to figure out where our offensive identity is, but if you can run the ball and run play action off of it, that'll get those safeties to kind of cheat up, and maybe you can go over the top. Mooney and
it's taken Nagy that long to figure out what his identity is. He still doesn't know. Laser knows what his identity is, and he has been successful doing it. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I think Justin Fields and Darnell Mooney have established a connection, and I believe that will continue today. That I think you've got to take advantage of the Packers when they're down with injury. I mean, they're
failed in a lot of different ways.
Yes, you have failed. I think their only pass rusher is Preston Smith. Now, like I said earlier, Rashawn Gary's kind of came on and played a little bit better this year. But I think you got to take advantage of them in the secondary. Eric Stokes, to me, was a surprise first-round draft pick. But he's played okay. I mean, but he doesn't have that. I don't think he has the speed to keep up with Mooney. I saw a lot of the Bengals doing kind of post routes. So they were taking advantage of Jamar Chase's speed and being able to get behind Adrian Amos, who's more of a tackling safety. We saw him here. That's why the Bears let him go, because he was asking for too much. What do you think, KB, as far as taking advantage of the
Taking advantage. To me, this game has to come full circle. To me, it sounds crazy to say, but this is the game to me where you kind of start to unleash Justin Fields. This is the game where you have to look at what the Bengals did. The Bengals killed them with the running backs. Joe Mixon had a fucking field day, and then going deep to Jamar Chase. I'm not gonna sit here and say Khalil Herbert is Joe Mixon by any means. Or any stretch of the imagination. Joe Mixon is a top 5 running back in this league. I can give a damn what you think about the man's personality or the man's past. He's a fucking talent. He's amazing at what he does. You have to use Khalil Herbert all over the field. You have to be able to get him out in passes, and we got to be able to run the ball on this defense that is hurting all over. And you have to start getting Mooney, Jamar Chase. You have to start getting Mooney isolated on some of these go routes, man. And we have to start taking advantage of them, dog. Like that's what they were doing. Jamar Chase was hitting it with double moves and all kind of shit and getting open. Like I said, Jamar Chase more than likely will be rookie of the fucking year. Kid is amazing.
Yeah.
But you have to see what these other teams are doing against them, and that's something we can do.
Well, you were talking about Joe Mixon for a second there. I saw some RJP Ryan being able to take advantage of the Packers quite a bit. The short passing game, and I feel like that plays right into our hands. You got Khalil Herbert, and they just called up Artavius Pierce, who is also able to catch the ball out of the back. I mean, Ryan Nall is as well. I mean, we've seen it, but I'm saying like a speed back, which is more what some RJP Ryan is. I think that's another spot where we can take advantage. I mean, they brought in Jalen Smith, but Jalen Smith was cut from Dallas for a reason. You know, he wasn't playing the great.
Playing like shit.
Right.
I got Cowboys fans that were friends. They were like, "Yeah, if y'all pick him up, y'all a dumbass." I'm like, I mean, but he's young. He can still
we
get back on track.
we had somebody on this panel that wanted to pick him up, and I think part of that was
I'd
Notre
pick him
Dame.
up. I mean, the reason I would pick him up because this was a first round projected guy who got injured, right? He fell back a little bit. He was like one of the smart ones that bought the insurance, fell out of the thing, got paid more money, whatever, right? Hasn't really battled back from injury the way that was expected, but for me, it's also his age. You got Danny Trevathan, you got Ogletree, right? You got guys who are up there.
30.
And
30
yeah,
plus.
and I don't know what he got paid to go to Green Bay. I just thought that for the age and for the projected talent, it wouldn't be an expensive buy to move him and get him in here and see what Desai could do with him, man. Because we've seen Desai is, and I don't know if it's Mike Pettin or if it's Desai all the way, or maybe it's a collective action, right? But that's something else we got to throw in here soon is this will be Mike Pettin's first time going up against the Green Bay Packers, going up against a team that he was the defensive coordinator for, going up against a guy in Aaron Rodgers that he faced every day in practice. So if there isn't something a little special about this defense today, knowing all the tells and knowing all the things that Pettin should have learned from watching Aaron Rodgers every single day, I'll be surprised, man. I think that this defense, we're going to see a different defense against this Packer team than what we normally see. And it's just another added bonus for the Bears. I know we hadn't, really talked about it, but AC, what do you think about bringing Pettin in, man? And I mean, obviously not what do you think about bringing him in, but about his first game against his previous team.
Well, I think this is a big reason why they went and got him. I mean, he like you just said, he's knows how to take advantage of. He knows every player on this defense. And how to take their strengths and their weaknesses, how to take advantage of them. So I think this is the whole big reason why they brought him in. I mean, there's no other way to put that. Aaron Rodgers, he went against him in practice every day, and I think Rodgers even talked about how he was able to he had issues going against that defense in practice every day, which made the Packers offense better. Of course, that's how he twisted it. But he knows how to take advantage of these defensive players, and he knows how to take advantage of this Packers offense. Now, they've got two dudes, basically, Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
You take those guys out, and I will say this though, we lead the league in sacks, and the last time we played Rodgers, he was getting the ball out in like less than 2 seconds. So the pass rush has got to get home. If you're not getting home, you got to get hands up. I mean, I think that's going to be the biggest thing today is they're going to get the ball out of Rodgers' hands quick. They're not going to let him sit back there and get hit. I mean, the dude's, what's he, 33, 34? They're not going to let him sit back and get hit.
I mean, I think he's already taken 8 sacks on the season. It's more than he's taken, in previous, if you're looking at averages per game. It's definitely more than he's taken in the past. But we all know in order to throw Rodgers off his game, and we've said it previous years on the show, you need him. He needs to get sacked. He needs to be getting hit. He needs to be getting pissed off at his offensive linemen. He needs to be throwing fucking tablets on the sidelines. Like, that's when he's at his worst. If you get him shut up and going, definitely there's a chance, right? And if, they can shut down Adams or just contain him, I think it steals a lot. It steals a lot from their arsenal. And, we'll see how they get after it. But, sticking with the Pettin thing, I really think that this is going to be, a show of worth today. We brought you in here for one main reason, and that's to beat the Packers and to move up the NFC North charts. So I think it's possible, man, but I think you have every weapon that you need right now. You have your secret weapons. You have every piece that you need to get after this from a coaching standpoint on the defensive side. And I'm hoping that it pays some fucking dividends today. KB, what you think, man?
See what I'm thinking. This was something I can't remember whether we talked about or not in our regular chats. But this might actually be the first game we see Jalen Johnson just trailing Devontae Adams the entire fucking game.
So they should be.
This is who legit Jalen Johnson name dropped as a rookie and said that he can't wait to play this dude. So I mean now it's time to put up or shut up, man. You talk the game now. You've been backing it up all season. Now it's time to really show. Are you one of the premier elite corners in this league? Because that man Devontae Adams, that's a handful. That's 2 handfuls. That's gonna be something big. If I would have him trailing all day. I will not let Kendall Vildor get any time on him at all. I don't care if he goes to the slot. You put him in that tight end. You put him back at fucking running back. I don't give a damn. The person on him is Jalen all day. They're hurting all over the place, man. You have to come after him. You have to come after Rodgers all day. I don't care if he throw the ball. Somebody need to. Hey, I'm right here. I gotta hit you. So you got to do something. You got to get him rattled early. That's how you win.
Yeah, and Elton Jenkins, I believe he was questionable with an ankle injury, correct? So maybe we can try and see how healthy that ankle is. Test this guy early. I mean, as an offensive lineman, you got to be able, especially a left tackle, you got to be able to shuffle your feet and keep your feet about you. So let's test those ankles and see how he's doing. Robert Quinn's lived up to his contract this season, and that needs to continue today.
Yeah, I mean, just put some big bodies on him, get him pushing backwards. I'm not saying try to injure a dude, but either way, when the foundation is weak, man, it's gonna be easier to push over.
Don't say, man, that's good.
You talk about my family? You talk about my mom?
Yeah, we talk about anybody in the league. KB's family went to barbecue with them when they was kids and fucking playing tag outside.
They got the same family picnic T-shirt. You know what I mean? It says like the Kirkland Village barbecue.
Oh shit!
Let's move into this real quick. So something that I just threw up there right now. The Packers defense has allowed 13 touchdowns on 13 red zone possessions. Basically what it shows is you get in the red zone against this team, you're scoring.
Yeah.
You get a 1st and 10 inside the red zone, scoring 100% of the time. Their defense has really just underperformed in the red zone. I mean, 13 of 13 for the offense, man. There's no turnovers. There's no whoever you're in the red zone.
Motherfuckers not kicking field goals.
Yeah, just punching it in. I mean, that's 13 touchdowns. I mean, is that a Horsted day or what? Like the all-pro fucking tight end, getting some jump balls in the end zone. I don't know, but I'm just saying it's a good sign, and it's something to take advantage of, and definitely something that sparks your offense when they get down in the red zone. I mean, their defense is just AC. You guys touched on it. KB, you did. Like Jair Alexander being out, the defensive struggles. And all that. I mean, it's something that definitely needs to be exploited today. And I think, hopping down in there and putting points on the board. A lot of people have this as a low scoring game. I think the over under right now is still 44. I'll check it in a minute, but I think it's still 44. I'm definitely on the over side of this. Right now, the FanDuel's got the Bears as a +6. The week started off as they were a +3.5. They moved to a +6 on Friday. I would take either one, honestly. But I think the over gets crushed for sure. If not crushed, but either way, I think that the over hit and the +6 just because I'm a Bears fan. It's not often, take Cleveland out, but it's not often in years past that the Bears lose a game by 7 or that when they lose a game that it's by more than 7 or less. So there's a lot of stuff there, but What you think, KB, on this defense allowing 13 touchdowns on 13 possessions, and then the overall spread and everything?
That shit's crazy. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's 1+1. Hell, ain't it? You add 1+1, you get 2. Apparently, you get in the red zone, you score. That's just how the cookie crumbles for their ass. I didn't know that. That's tragic. As far as the betting shit, bro, man.
Somebody's texting them over here.
So, oh no, man, they calling for overtime. Not today.
Shit about me getting hurt against you Bears.
But yeah, bro. That's a wild stat, man. I mean that plays well. We hope that we see the good, you know what I'm saying, the good matchups. You get in the red zone, you got to bring the tight ends in, run the ball, read option, play action, use Justin Fields' legs in the red zone. Make him have to be accounted for. That's how you score, and that's how you gonna score. Because you get them on skates, and you start doing misdirection. A lot of that talent ain't on that defense right now. A lot of their talent is hurt. It's gonna be a lot of people peeking, so people should be open. So I'm hoping we see a lot of Jesper Horsted. I'm still surprised that we're not seeing the amount of Jesse James that I thought we would see.
I think he was injured last week or inactive.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what it is. Then okay,
he's back today though.
Okay, because apparently him and Justin Fields got some type of chemistry too. So I'm not mad. I was gonna say I'm not mad if him and Jesper Horsted got a lot of playing time. Mm-hmm. I for the life of me don't understand why Jimmy Graham's not in the red zone. If you're on anywhere on the 5-yard line and in, that should be an automatic toss.
Yeah,
he literally boxes everybody out for the damn ball.
I mean, we saw it on the touchdown pass last week. They rolled Justin Fields out. They get the defense looking that way, and he kind of poop over the top. Just Horsted went up and got it, which was great.
If you want to keep that streak of 100% on their ass, because they just suck that bad for it. That's what you got to do, man. You got to run the ball, and you got to get the tight ends involved. And I mean this could potentially be I'm not gonna say a breakout game for A-Rob, because we know who A-Rob is when he wants to play to the level he plays at. But A-Rob is a jump ball. He's a 50-50 wide receiver. If they don't have anybody that can guard him, if the best you can tell me right now is Stokes might possibly be on A-Rob, A-Rob should be showing why he is asking for $20 million. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think this could be a breakout game for a lot of the receivers. I mean, you got this speed duo, like you got this speed. You just went out and bought race cars at these positions, right? And now you got them up against third-string DBs, second-string DBs, who obviously just aren't as fast. So to open up and air this out this game, I think it's the perfect scenario. You got a secondary that's just beat up, that's bought on pennies to sub, and now they're starting. So to get Goodwin, to get some of these guys going with this speed, if they don't get after that today, there's obviously an issue. You got to open it up and throw that ball, man. And I've seen some of the guys talking in the chat. I think Fields goes for 250 today. I mean, George Hall was saying it. Brad was saying it. I think Fields puts up 250 today. I know he hasn't really because of the run style and because of the attack of Lazer's offense, right? But I think some of these deep balls connect. Go ahead, KB.
I was going to say, and that also brings this interesting point up. I was going to say, I don't know if anybody's commented or not, but Laser is just as pissed off about not unleashing Justin Fields as everybody else is. You listen to that man's press conference. He's frustrated that he's not getting the most out of Justin Fields that we all are expecting. So I would expect to see the shit start to happen today, especially with those injuries. That man speaking before this game saying, "Listen, I know that we're not using him the way that he can be used, and I know I'm not getting the most out of him that I should be." I feel like Laser will be trying to do those things today. Hopefully, it won't be at the detriment of our team, but I'm just saying that was just something.
Well, I mean, y'all know how close I am to Cincinnati. So the talk all week last week was, yeah, the Bengals are 3-1, but they're probably the worst 3-1 team in the league. I mean, they barely beat the Jags, blah blah blah. And that team came out and went toe to toe with this Packers team. So
Yeah.
I definitely
Should
think
have won.
should have
have
won.
won.
Should have won. Yes, absolutely. So I definitely think that the Packers are living off of the name on the jersey and Rodgers. I mean, the defense isn't good. You just talked about it. 13 for 13 in the red zone. Teams are scoring touchdowns, not field goals. There's not a single turnover. They're scoring touchdowns when they get inside the 20. And I mean, you got to continue that going. You talked about Justin Fields going off. This is a possibility of a big game for A-Rob to prove himself, for Mooney to continue his connection. Use these tight ends, man. I really think this could be an offensive explosion if they go at it correctly. I mean, and we've ran the ball all season. I'm really excited to see Herbert as the lead back showing what he can do, showing thank you for drafting me. This is why you drafted me. You know what I'm saying? And I really think it can be an offensive explosion. And if the defense can keep playing the way they're playing, we blow these fucking Packers out. We take the lead in the division with the tiebreaker. I'm telling you, man, we'll start to get some respect. I've listened to the national narrative, and since the Cleveland game, we have gotten zero respect whatsoever. But if we go out here and we punch the Packers in the mouth and take the division, that's all you need.
No, I 100% agree, man. They come out and do this today. It's going to show definitely, who they are. But this is what I got from AC talking right here. This is what I heard.
After I beat you and satisfy all the Hulkamaniacs, I'm going to get off by cranking your knob just a little beyond the breaking point.
God damn it.
Cranking your knob. Just cranking.
Hey, there's a YouTube compilation of like all the and y'all know I watch the WWE, but there's a YouTube compilation of all the gay stuff that WWE ever has done. And there's like it starts right off with a guy named Rusev, and he goes, "You come in my face, I'm gonna fight you."
I would hope so, goddamn.
Right.
Oh man!
Oh shit!
I said that to AC last night. We were on something, man. It was like 1 a.m. and me,
you
KB,
were
and
on
AC
something,
motherfucker.
And we were
that
was some funny
shit. That shit was funny. Badge was probably pissed at us. Badge, little shout out to Badge. Badge, we miss you, brother. Hope you're getting better. Everything's good, man. Miss you. We'll see you soon, man. But by the time you come back, the Bears are going first in the NFC North.
First place,
ready
baby.
to get after this. You know what I mean? Ready to get
I
after
knew what
this.
Bash was doing. Bash took a sabbatical because we was getting our ass beat. He was like, "Nope, I'm not even gonna be a fan. He gonna wait till we come back and we're good. He gonna be like, all right, yeah, I've been just stewing and waiting for this. I'm gonna come back."
Badge has been calling for Nagy to get fired since fucking before I was ever on the bandwagon.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, today, dude, look, I think Fields has everybody's saying, this guy's going to have their breakout game. This guy, you got people in the chat saying Mooney, Herbert's going to have a breakout game. KB threw in there that A-Rob will have his, not breakout game, but breakout game for the season. I'm saying Justin Fields has his breakout game. I'm going to say Fields just comes out and has his breakout game.
And imagine that on the national stage, going toe-to-toe with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, got his first passing touchdown in the NFL last week to Horsted. Dude, I think he's going to throw – I'm saying he's going to throw 2 touchdowns today. Over 250 passing yards, and I'm going to give him 50-plus rushing yards. Make a parlay out of it. Hit me with some tips when you're done, when you cash your bets. That's the way that thing goes. But that's what I'm going to go with, dude. I think that it's definitely possible, especially when you put in all the pieces of the puzzle, right? You add the Pettin, you add this 13 touchdowns and 13 red zone spots. You add this underneath game for the Packers that they've just got torched on these slants, these damn drag routes. And you throw our sixth in rushing in there too, right? And it's just a perfect situation for the field to open up, for you to throw that deep ball and get after it. Because our strengths are their weaknesses. And then to come back and go over the top is just, it's a recipe for just straight success for the Bears today. And I mean, that's how I see it going down, man. And I don't know. I think Rodgers, I think we get to him over, at least 3 sacks, possibly 4, but I'll say that we get to him at least 3 times, and throw him off his game. I think the one thing that, the surprising thing that might hurt us is the old thorn in the side of Randall Cobb. If we shut down Devontae, man, I think Cobb's going to blow up this game. I think he'll turn around and get after it. And
I mean, he'll be going against Duke Shelley, Duke Shelley stepped up his game. He's played okay, but Randall Cobb is that's Rodgers. Like a lot of people hit their tight end as a safety blanket. That's Rodgers' safety blanket.
Yeah, Shelley's also questionable today. That he's one that'll come out right before the game. He's rostered, obviously, but he's questionable for today right now. So we'll see how that works out. But I don't know, man. I think it's the key to winning. Go ahead, KB.
I was gonna say if they don't move, if he's hurt or he can't make it, they don't move DHC into the fucking slot, bro. Somebody need to be talking to somebody.
I'd rather see him than Marquis Christian.
Marquis Christian should be nowhere close to the field. Like I don't know why he's on the team. Well, don't you know those parts where all the important people in the room are talking? You get that one guy in the back. It was like, well, I know. Hey, why are you here? That's Marquis Christian. I'm sorry, dude. I don't know. Man, all the best to you, dude. Like, if you play, get picks, something.
Yeah.
Grab somebody nuts. Do what Hulk Hogan say. I'm just gonna break your knob a little bit.
Just when you're at your breaking point.
Yeah, I need some of that. You know what I'm saying?
Did you guys see? I think Justin Fields this week was asked about him going and facing off against Aaron Rodgers, and he was like, "I'm not facing Aaron Rodgers. I'm facing their defense." Like,
Justin Fields won't have none of that shit.
I love Justin Fields, his focus, and just the way I love this kid, man. I'm glad the Bears finally drafted the guy I wanted, and he's the ultimate professional. He doesn't come in and talk shit. He doesn't come in and look scared. He's just I love the kid, man. There's no other way to put that. I mean, I know
definitely,
we're getting close to wrapping this up, so I wanted to put that out there before we did.
Yeah, definitely. He's got that stoic that, he's just there to play football, man. He's not getting involved in the drama and the this and that, but I think it was Hogue even went after him with like
the Michigan Ohio State thing.
Yeah, and then how this is a rivalry, and he just
the look he gave him was just like, really do.
Hold on.
He just hit him with that dead stare.
He's talking with the Justin Fields impersonation. It was like this.
Your camera's off.
Hold on. It was like this.
There it is.
How do you feel about the Bears being Michigan?
Really do.
I'm just here.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, he was just locked in and ready to go. I want to give a shout out though, and we'll get into score predictions and shout outs, but I just think, look at that.
YKB got Mr. T over here.
I got Mr. T.
I pity the fool. I pity the fool. I mean, we could have made him Candyman. There's probably not a Candyman thing out there, but hey. All right, let's go let's get into game predictions, score predictions. What you think's gonna happen, and and go from there. I was just looking in the private chat. KB, over to you, man. Give me some game predictions, score predictions.
Yeah, Aldo has problems. Let's see. Let's start with the predictions. 100% in the red zone. That's pretty goddamn bad. I'm gonna be bold and say this. Justin Fields accounts for 4 touchdowns today. 4. Count. I'm gonna say he has 3 passing touchdowns. This is assuming, because making an ass out of all of us. We actually get the tight ends involved in the red zone, and Jesper Horsted sees the field. I think Jesper Horsted gets 2 touchdown catches today, and I'll say Allen Robinson catches another one. And in the red zone, because I feel like we'll be moving the ball on the Green Bay Packers today, Justin Fields runs in for a touchdown. So those are my 4. My 4 touchdowns. So those are my bold predictions. I feel that the Bears are going to win this game. Let's say 31-24. You can't. You can't. I'm not going to say we're going to stop them. That's a very hard sell to say we'll stop Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. That's a very fucking lethal combination. That's a very good. Those are 2 very good players. You can hate Aaron Rodgers all you want. He's still a great quarterback. But I do feel like today will be the day that we actually see points scored, and that's because we all have faith in our quarterback this time. So, yeah, I'm saying 31-24 Bears. Justin Fields scored. It accounts for 4 touchdowns today.
Perfect. AC, over to you, man. What's your thoughts? What's your predictions, bold predictions, score predictions? What you got?
Man, all week.
You got to full screen this guy.
All right. Yeah, all week I thought that and until I saw the statistics, I thought, well, we ain't going to win. It's the Packers, man. But now that I'm seeing the statistics, and just like KB said, got faith in my quarterback, faith in the way our offensive line has bounced back since Cleveland, I think the Bears take this game. And just like I said, they embarrass the Green Bay Packers in front of everybody. I think the Chicago Bears win this game 31-17. And it's not even as close as that looks. I think the Packers score a late touchdown to make it look a little bit better. I think our defense comes out and plays really well, and our offense moves the ball great. I don't see any issues other than like KB hit the nail on the head with everything. You got to respect Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, and then don't forget about Aaron Jones. I mean, that dude comes out and he's really good too. But my MVP is going to be Bill Lazor. I think he's going to play. He's going to call a great game. Take advantage of what the Packers give him, and it helps a lot that Mike Pettine's here now, so he can kind of help him know where to attack, what these players' weaknesses are. But it was hard for me to pinpoint a player. So that's why I'm going to say my MVP is Bill Lazor.
Get your shit together. Get it all together and put it in a backpack. All your shit.
Yeah,
so it's together.
I mean, I could see that going. I think AC, yeah, you're still up there for me. I don't know if I'm up there.
Oh my
God. So look, I'm thinking obviously a Bears victory, right? I originally was gonna go with KB went ahead and jumped in there. I'm gonna change this up a little bit though. I'm gonna say that it's 24-31 late in the 4th. Bears are up, Packers are driving, and I know people don't like it, but I'm gonna say Bojack gets a pick, and then on the leg of Cairo and his fucking historic having field goal run, he drills it in to put us up by 10 and basically seal the game. So that's my score prediction, 34-24 Bears, with the Eddie Jackson final drive, basically interception. And then we end up having to kick field goal just to put it away. And Santos does that for us. So, and the breakout game, and I think we've already gone over this. I think it's Justin Fields, man. I think Fields comes out and really just fucking shines today. And not to throw some shade or take away from Herbert, because I think Herbert goes over for 100 yards rushing. I just think Fields that kind of overshadows that, right? And it doesn't get as much clout as it should, because Fields is going to take the big stage here, and and set his spot as the fucking true king of the North, and knock Rodgers off his throne, man. And this could potentially be the second there's potentially only today and one more time this season that Aaron Rodgers might be wearing a Green Bay uniform against us. It's quite possible that he's got 2 more games against the Bears, and that's it. As a Packer. So we'll see how that thing goes out. Let's move into shout outs and then wrap this thing up. KB, you want to shout out your cousin that you're going against today? Any other family members you want to shout out?
I was gonna say we're gonna start a weekly panel. Is KB?
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Is KB related? Spin the wheel,
dude.
All you gotta do is put B line in the O-line.
Middle school. Yeah, KB was fucked in middle school. They told him to do a family tree. This dude shows up with a family forest. There's like the whole thing's all kinds of jacked up.
The sad part is that's kind of how the truth of it was. It was like, okay, who should I put?
Yeah.
But
wait, before we get into shout outs, let me do something real quick. Zambrano just threw this in there, and I kind of agree with him. Zambrano just said he does. Oh man, I think Aldo tried to show it, and I tried to show it at the same time. He said, I don't want the Bears to allow the Packers to score 20 points, 13 at the most. With how well this defense has been, that's a good point, man. I mean, you held the Raiders to 9 points. You know what I mean? And it's a good point that, maybe they only give up 1 touchdown. It's quite possible. I think all of us gave them mid-20s.
I had 17 on mine.
AC gave them 17, yeah. But yeah, that's a good point, man. Maybe, hopefully,
man, you know what?
I think all of us are kind of got that Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say I got PTSD when it comes to that round. So
yeah,
that's just being
all right,
true.
My bad, man. Hit your shout outs.
Shout outs to you guys. Shout out to our boy Aldo for getting up, man. Shout out to me for waking up. Shit, I'm tired. Shout out to the fans, man. It's like I said, we get on here and we do this shit for y'all, man. It's a venting session. It's get these frustrations out and just talk football. It's enjoyable. But we all circle around and we do this shit for y'all. I need a better fucking reward than $10,000, goddamn. I know that. I'm going to talk to somebody. But let's say I'm hoping Roquan brings that dog mentality from Georgia, man. We're talking about not allowing people to score.
Oh, really?
I'm sorry. But it's true. Hey, you got to have that mentality that the Georgia Bulldogs got, man. Every time somebody scores, you need to be pissed off. You have to. And what Kentucky did, I'm sorry, it was pretty much it was the sin for 300. They had to let the rest of the college football world know that the Georgia could freaking bleed. You know what I'm saying? That's the only reason why they called that timeout with 3 seconds left.
Do y'all know how many touchdowns Georgia gave up the entire season before we played them?
Like 2.
2. And how many did we score? 2. We doubled their touchdown. And we covered the spread.
Hey, like I said, sometimes you gotta make it so that people can see other people bleed. And I mean, to be real, that's kind of where we at now. The Packers are not a better team than the Bears right now.
That's true.
We're probably on even footing. It just takes Justin Fields to become the quarterback we're hoping he can become to put us over the top. So it's time. It's like I said, man. It's time to show the world that the Packers can bleed, man.
Yeah,
that's what it comes down to. So, like I said, shout out fans, shout out us, man, because we do this shit.
Absolutely, AC. Over to you, man. What you got?
First and foremost, shout out to my lovely, beautiful wife, Mallory, for always having my back. She holds me down. She's my rock, and she keeps me sane. Shout out to everybody in the chat. shout out to Don Burr. I'm sorry for your lines last week, man. Honestly, I was pulling for him, and
I was too.
And honestly, your coach that you've got up there, the passion he shows after a loss, not a lot of people have that. Dan Campbell coming out and actually shedding some tears for the way his team was. They keep coming out on the wrong end of these tough games. So definitely shout out to Don for that, man. It's tough being a Detroit fan in general, and I really think you got a good head coach up there. Like, all jokes aside, shout out to y'all. I come on here every week and hit my therapy session. Shout out to Aldo for giving me a platform to speak on, man. I started out as a fan, and you guys gave me a shot to come on here, and now it's the AC show. Y'all just come on here to be my backup singers or whatever.
Fucking Jackson 5, and he's Michael Jackson. He just about to finish.
I'm Mike.
AC and the edibles.
I love you, dog.
It's AC and the edibles over here. All right, let's get into shout outs. Obviously, shout out to everybody in the ballroom, everybody that's making this thing happen, keeping this network going. Great content, hours on top of hours of content. The AA show, new show there. Great stuff from them. Check that out. Fantasy Football Goon will be on right after us. Aldo and I think they're all going live at halftime as always for their halftime, the first half reaction, and then immediately after the show, like you've seen on the bottom line, come back and get their reaction and the Nagy pressers and the player pressers, and maybe we'll get a little club dub today. That'd be nice. That's been something that's been kind of. Oh, Danny Shimmon's sitting in for Buffon today. So there we go. Get Danny Shimon in there and the breakdown. Danny's got some great stuff too, man. And then all in all, man, shout outs to Brother Badge, to Mr. Ryan Badgley. He'll be back in the house soon enough. We miss you, buddy. And, can't wait for you to be back. Sorry, I'm hopping through different things right now, too. And Don Burr, I guess Don can get a shout out. Don, if Detroit beats the Packers this year, you can definitely have shout outs for the rest of the year. There he is. There's the guy. Visit Deep Dish Tees. Get over to Deep Dish Tees, barroom/barroom, and check it out and see what has to offer there. Deep Dish is run by Chicago's own Mike Schaefer. Not only helping out the ballroom, but helping out a Chicago kid and Mike, and getting yourself some dope ass swag. So check that out. Shout out to Timmy from the bus, Mr. Tim Shanley, and the Chicago Bears Tailgate Club. They've been killing it this year, man. They got past players showing up to their tailgate parties there in Chicago on Cermak. They got a Facebook page, Chicago Bears Tailgating Club. Fox News joins all those dudes every morning pregame. And then today they did a shout out to the ladies, the women of tailgating. They had a bunch of the old Honey Bears there, not old as in age wise. Come on. We just know that the Honey Bears were something that happened a long time ago, but they had the Honey Bears there, and they got, just diehard women in sports, man, that, big Chicago Bears fans out there, and they're killing it this morning. I'll be joining him the 31st. We'll be joining him in the tailgate that morning, and maybe just go live from there. I'll hop in and pop off live from there for the show. So big shout out to Chicago Bears Tailgating Club. If you're not following them, get after it and follow them. And, let's get after this thing today, man. Shout out to Justin Fields for taking over the North today, because I think that's definitely going to happen. We appreciate all you guys joining us and being there and your constant support throughout the season and, every game day morning. Definitely appreciate all you guys joining us. And let's get a big Bear victory and leave this thing with a fat-ass bear down.
Bear down.
Bear down.